What's up, Bulldogs? All right, in this video, we're going to be talking about hypergamy, and I'm going to tell you as a man how it affects you and how you can avoid it or mitigate that. So I got a DM from someone who was asking me about hypergamy. He said he's been watching a lot of red pill and MGTOW type of content, and hypergamy keeps on coming up. And he wanted to know if all women are hypergamous by nature, and if so, how can he keep a woman? How can he be the man, the better man, so that she doesn't leave him? First of all, let's start by talking about and defining what is hypergamy, okay? Hypergamy is nothing, I don't think it's evil. It's really just evolutionary biology, okay? It's really just very simple, very basic, makes a lot of sense that women, by nature, will seek the highest value man that they can. How you define value, that's up for debate, but I say it's status. I say it's status, which is a combination of looks, money, social status, contextual social status at the time, and fame or how other people view you, right? There's a lot of components that come into that, but basically you could say the better man. As a species, we want to propagate the best genes, and women want to find the best genes that they can to propagate the species. Now, in our modern society today, of course, with birth control and all other type of things, the way that our social relationships work, that's not necessarily the outcome of that, but regardless, that is the basic premise of it. You should know that it is baked into female nature that they will constantly be looking for an upgrade, for a better man, that you're never really safe, that a woman who finds a better option you should assume that she'll take it. Now, that's not always true. Not all women will take their better option, but they'll be wanting to take their better option, and you should just assume that they will. When I say this, a lot of people get offended, right? A lot of women, maybe you're watching this and you're like, oh, what? That's bullshit. All women aren't like that, or even you might have that viewpoint, and it's you're like hating on women. Not really. I don't have, like I said, I don't have a problem with it. I have no problem with it. You know why? Because I'm just going to be the better man. Like that, and that's the strategy. That's the answer. You can get angry about things, or you can just accept them, right? This is just how the world works. And it does me no good to be angry about it. It does you no good to be angry about it. It's not a negative attribute. It's not an evil thing. It's not a planned thing that women are bad and they're doing this. It's just what's happening. It's just the way that our biology works. Okay, we men have our own traits that are biologically beneficial, but are detrimental to relationships and to being what we would call a good person. Okay, there's plenty of those. Okay, we're not going to talk about those in this video, but this is the basic idea. And the question of, are all women hypergamous? Yes, it is biologically built in. Will they all act on their hypergamy? Not necessarily. Okay, some of this that you're seeing more of it is due to less societal constraints. When women were more societally constrained through marriage and stricter laws and really a lot of the societal norms, church, religion, all these things, you saw less of this. But it was still there, okay? And women would act on it and maybe so in secret and whatnot, right? So as a man, you should assume that all women are hypergamous by nature, because that is the nature of it, okay? Does this mean that you cannot trust a woman, that she will ultimately cheat on you, and that she will just find a better man and upgrade? It doesn't necessarily mean that, but you should keep that in your mind, and you should assume that. To answer the question of, what can you do about this? How can I be the better man and not have her leave me? Is to not worry about her leaving you, okay? It's sort of, if you try to go down the road of trying to keep her, you are going to lower your value, okay, in her eyes, because you are not going to be a high value man, because a high value man has options, is not necessarily worried about losing one woman, as great as she may be, because he knows that he can get another one because he is of high value. That's really the mindset that you have to take into this whole situation. And in addition to that, you have to be constantly increasing your value and constantly improving yourself and making yourself better. That's your role. That's your destiny as a man. This is what I'm trying to teach you to do on this channel, right? You bulldogs, why am I teaching you to be bulldogs, to have the bulldog mindset? This is because I want you to keep on striving in life. I want you to keep on growing and becoming better in all ways possible, okay? And if you're on that path, there's two things that are going to happen. One, you're always going to be becoming the better man. So whatever girl that you're with, you should be better every day, right? So she's going to see you as the better option. Now, it's possible some billionaire, playboy model comes along and shows interest in her and she ditches your ass. That's fine. That could happen. Okay, but what you can do about the situation is to improve yourself as much as possible. Be always striving to improve yourself. I always think it's funny when I see guys taking their girlfriends or wives or whatever into a nightclub, and I'm like, really? Like that's not a very smart thing to do, right? Like, because you're just opening yourself up for that opportunity for problems. Okay, so that's probably, you should be at least smart about that. But at the same time, you shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be threatened, because you know that you are the best man. And if you're not, then become the best man. That's the real answer, right? I mean, a lot of you guys are looking for some other answer. You want this fairy tale type of relationship, Cinderella type of story, okay? Prince Charming and Snow White or whatever it is. You want that, okay? You want to be the knight in shining armor, but that doesn't exist. That fairy tale romance doesn't exist because our biology fights against that actively, okay? But there is something better that exists. What's better than that, right? What's better than having this loyal woman who loves you no matter what, even if you're worse than other options you could get, which it doesn't even make sense when you really spell it out like that. What's better than that is being the fucking best, okay? And constantly improving and having options and not being tied to this sense of scarcity or law. I'm not saying that you should devalue people. Like, don't misunderstand me. You can love, okay? You can be in a relationship with someone. You can really like this person, okay? And you can be a good person, all right? And treat them well. But you should always be willing to let them go. You should always be willing to let everything in your life go, because everything is temporary, right? You should just assume that. You should just assume, again, this is very much Stoic philosophy and that Stoic mindset, which says that if it's here, I'm happy for it. I'm happy that this person, this relationship is in my life, but I'm willing to let it go. I'm not going to be destroyed by anything temporary in my life leaving me. Nothing is permanent. You have to be secure in yourself. You have to be okay with being alone. You have to learn to have enough, I'd say, self-respect, self-love, that you're okay on your own, that you feel like you're good enough. And if you don't feel like you're good enough, then fucking become good enough, right? Figure out the things that you need to do to become the kind of person that you can have that kind of mindset. All right, now I've got a video. I link to this video all the time, but we'll put it here again on You're Always Going to Be Alone. We'll put it in the cards. It'll be in the description as well. You need to understand this concept. You need to be okay with the idea that you're going to have people that will join your life from at periods of time, but they're never going to be in. As much as you want that like unconditional love, as long as you want that unconditional acceptance, that is not your role as a man. That is not the reality. No one is going to unconditionally accept you or love you, okay? And that's not that harsh of a reality. That's just the truth of it. Like, you can fight that and you can keep on looking for this thing, and you're going to be sorely disappointed, especially, you're going to increase the chances of hypergamy hurting you, okay? And when it does, your world is going to be shattered, right? You're going to lose all faith in humanity, and you're going to become one of those people that's bitter, right? Again, a lot of the reasons why I don't like the MGTOW community, even though I agree with a lot of the points that they make and the factual things that they say, I'm like, yes, that's true, is the interpretation, right? I'm not going to take that stuff and become bitter. I'm going to take that stuff and I'm going to say, okay, this is the reality. This is the game that we're playing, and I will play that game, okay? But not only will I play that game, I will get good at that game, and I will learn to master that game, all right? I'm not offended by it. This is not something, I don't see it as a personal attack. I don't see it as a, quote, wrong of society, okay? Even though there's some things that are obviously wrong in society, I don't see it that way. Instead, I see it as, okay, this is where the ball lies. How did it get here? Should it have gotten here? It doesn't matter, but I have to play the ball where it lies. okay? And this is where the ball lies. And this is the same thing, you know, in all of your guys' lives. Don't try to avoid the facts of life, of nature. Instead, try to mitigate the effects on you, right? By becoming the better man, by developing what I call the Bulldog mindset, by striving to improve yourself every day. This is a good reason to do that. But again, don't do this just for women, okay? Do this for yourself. You as a man should be striving to be the best man that you can. That's your purpose. That's why you are here. That is the main thing that is going to bring you fulfillment and ultimately happiness in life, is improving yourself, okay? Is growing on that path. That's the thing that's going to matter more than anything else. So hypergamy, yes, it's true. It's real. You should assume that all women are hypergamous by nature, but you shouldn't be bitter about it. And you shouldn't cry about it. The thing you should do about it is to fucking be the best man. That's all I got for you today. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button down below, and take care, guys.